Why do we literally need to be burning on a stake before we say, actually, no, how you're treating me is not okay? What I'm asking for is basic respect. That's what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for the moon. I'm not asking for freaking Pluto. Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of Unfiltered Thoughts. I got my little matcha here. I figured out the best sweetness, 2 tablespoons of honey. That just really brings out the umami. That just really brings out the body of the matcha, whatever that means. So I'm super excited to talk about today's topic because I feel like I can finally really talk about it. I'm able to practice this aspect, and so I'm able to really speak on it because I have practiced what I preach, because sometimes you can preach but not do it. I feel really, really excited because I can finally talk about it and I can finally share with you what it feels like, my experiences, how I navigated. When you start doing it, you'll see a massive paradigm shift in your mindset. So let's give it a drum roll. Once you start setting boundaries, you will never want to go back to whatever the heck that was, all right? Bye forever. Not good. Bye forever. So what are boundaries? They're basically limits or barriers that protect ourselves and our well-being, but in the same time provides a manual for other people as well, and how they should treat us and how we should treat them. Not just physical boundaries. There's so many different kind of boundaries, guys. There's mental boundaries, there's conversational boundaries, there's financial boundaries. There is all kinds of boundaries. And I feel like there's actually 2 aspects of boundaries when we talk about boundaries, right? We have a person setting boundaries, and the other aspect of it is someone who is receiving those boundaries, or how we as a person can respect another person's boundaries, which again I won't be talking about. I'll mainly be talking about how we as a person will be setting those boundaries and not how we as a person are reacting to those boundaries, because I feel like 2 really, really big topics, and the experiences I want to talk about today is mainly setting those boundaries for yourself. I've learned a thing or 2 and I think I can share and really speak out on it, and it'll be useful. It's really strange. Sometimes I'm able to just say no really clearly, but there are times and there are people where I find it harder to say no to. I recall this one specific time. I used to live in the dorm, right? And I had this dorm parent. She actually brought it up. She's like, I noticed that you kind of sometimes struggle with saying no. I totally understand that. You don't even have to say no, girl. She told me this. She said, you could be like, oh, thank you, but I'm not interested. And she was telling me these tips and tricks, and I was like, oh, interesting. But I still never really got around to practicing it. I wouldn't say no, I don't want to do it. You know what I'd do instead? I'd be like, no, my mom won't allow me to do it. But I wouldn't be able to say, no, this makes me feel uncomfortable, or no, I don't want to do it. Why do I have to give an excuse of another person not wanting me to do those things, and it's not coming from me? But as well, I always think maybe how we grew up, our culture, all these things really impact our boundaries. And growing up in an Asian household and an Asian way of how one is raised, obviously I think that really also shaped me, and perhaps how my views are and the things that I've learned. And I'm not saying that just because I have those things, I'm not able to change as an adult, because I feel like you can have experiences in your life, but at the end of the day, even though you have those experiences, how are you gonna change for the better? How are you gonna break the cycle? How are you gonna move on from that, right? Instead of wallowing, instead of, oh my god, self-pity can only bring you so far. I think people-pleasing tendencies, it's not just doing it because you're oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it because whatever. It's more so like doing it even though you're sick in your gut, and you still do it, and you still force yourself to do it even though you don't want to do it, and you know deep down you don't want to do it, but you just brush yourself off because you're not that important, right? You think you're not that important. This is, yes, to avoid conflict, yes, to take care of people's emotions. Like if you had another person who was not really emotionally mature and you get ostracized because you don't do certain things and you are viewed as a villain if you don't say yes, this aspect as well shifts you and makes you really become a people pleaser. Like if you have to take care of somebody else's emotion and not yours. Avoiding conflict, right? Oh my god, well, if I say no, like, oh, it's too uncomfortable. Like if I say no, then people might think this way, or this person might talk this way, blah 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 blah. Been there, done that. Or to be agreeable. Yes, like I can do that, that's fine, like because everybody is saying yes, so why is there not a reason for me to say yes as well? To be agreeable and to fit in. And so those are the reason why some of us might not set boundaries, and I want to give you personal case studies to show you how I really started to stray away from that path of people pleasing, and how I really hit rock bottom and then came out of it and just started setting these boundaries. The first really big hit rock bottom kind of, okay, this is not okay, was modeling for me. I think when I entered modeling, initially I did not have any kind of experience. I don't know anything. I was fresh out of college after graduating biology. I was very new to the world. My mom was someone who was always such a strong character. Like she was the one who normally stood up for us if ever we went through any kind of injustice. And in a way, it's something I'm very grateful for. But I also feel like because I always had her, I didn't know how to stand up for myself. When you grow up in such like a sheltered environment where you always had that one person trying to protect you, stops you from learning to protect yourself and learning to voice out when things aren't okay for you, because you're like, well, this person is gonna come rescue me. But when that person who's gonna come and rescue you is not there anymore, who's gonna rescue you? Yourself. But I didn't learn that. Hey, I didn't learn that from the very beginning. From the very beginning, I would be in really sketchy, weird kind of situation. Like that situation I was in where somehow I ended up in this shoot for like a compound, and they're like, oh, it's for your portfolio. And that time I didn't have money to like I didn't have the experience, I didn't have money, so I was like, okay, like this is free, I'll get some pictures for my portfolio, la di da di da. And it was a bunch of these old men with like girls, and they were drinking after, and they were like, can you shoot like cute kawaii bikini kind of pictures? Thank God my mom was with me, my mom and my sister. I brought the whole family in there, and I was like, whoa. And that was more so because I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like that's fine. I didn't ask for details. I was like, who would take advantage of me? Dude, I was so naive in that aspect. But then you recognize the reality of things, and you're like, there are demons out there. Then there are also good people out there, but there are those handful of people who are assholes and want to destroy your life and wants to take advantage of you. No. My reality kind of like was shattered a little bit, which was like, you know, the innocence of youth. I had this one job that I got, and I was so excited to get this job. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. The lady made it out to be like, yeah, like we really want you, like you'll be acting for like this role. And the director was like, you'll definitely fit in this role really nicely, and the client loves it. The sum was good as well, like it was like $30K for, and then I had to fly down south to shoot. I'm like, oh my God, like that looks like such a great opportunity. We were supposed to have this fitting, right? Because they had already casted me and everything. The day before, the lady sends me a fitting breakdown. And in this fitting breakdown, I saw that what I had to wear. And I was like, I was really not comfortable with that. It was just more so from a place of respect, right? Like, it was really, really from a place of respect where I was like I really didn't want to do it. I just felt like I was forced to be in that situation, even though I could have just said no, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't. I thought about everybody else but myself. Why are we thinking about other people before ourselves? Like, that is the biggest form of self-betrayal. And I look back and I'm like, baby Christina inside is shook right now. She's like, how dare you pick somebody else over how you feel? Honestly, like, a lot of things rushed through my mind. I was like, well, oh my God, this person picked me already. What if they can't find anybody in time? Well, how's that my problem? Now that I look back, how's that my problem? How is that your problem? Is it your problem that this person didn't disclose beforehand when it's their job? Like, they're supposed to be doing that. Is that your fault that you don't stand with that and that you're uncomfortable with that? Because I betrayed myself. I went, and guess what? Throughout the entire shoot, I felt like shit. From the fitting till the day it was done, I was so gutted. You know the feeling like you want to throw up constantly? I felt that. Because I agreed already I had to perform and do my best, but I felt gutted. After that day, I decided that whenever I had any kind of job that was like this, I would not accept it and I would say no. And it does not matter how many times a person is like, can you please do this job? Can you please do this job? I will say no. When you don't, people will take advantage of that. And people will take advantage of your kindness. I know, because I have a big heart. I have a big heart, all right? My booty big, my heart bigger. I love, and I have the biggest heart, and that will never change. It will never change, but there will always need to be a barrier. There will always need to be boundaries, all right? You can receive my biggest, my booty big, my heart bigger, only if you don't disrespect that, only if you don't cross that, or else it's not a fair game. I can't just be giving. I can't just breathe in and not exhale. I can't just exhale without breathing in, right? Like, vice versa. It needs to be balanced. Because I'm freelance, right? So I deal a lot with like this agent, that agent. I have agents who see, oh, she's having a great day. Why don't you just do it? Just do it. It's okay. Like, just do it. And they'd ask me consistently. And I had to look at this guy's face and be like, no means no. Like, you don't understand? No means no. And then they'd be like, oh, okay. And I've had people who ask me about my choices. And I feel like you don't have to explain your choices. But I do explain my choices because it's what I believe. And if you don't believe that, it's fine. It's no worries. That's fine. Like, you want to know? I'll tell you. I have no problem telling you. And I'm comfortable with that. But if I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to disclose to you. Why do I have to explain to people? I've had people talking behind my back in the crew, talking, oh yeah, this girl, she doesn't accept this role. This girl, she doesn't accept this role. Like, who does she think she is? But at the end of the day, nobody knows the feeling more than me. Nobody knows how gutted I feel that day than me. And so it does not matter if this person is saying, oh my God, Christina doesn't accept this. Oh my God. Like, no, I know who I am. I'm professional. I show up. I work. I do what I have to do. And if I don't want to accept this role, I damn well won't, because I know I won't perform at the best of my abilities. So therefore, why would I want to waste your time? Like, do you want me to waste your time? Like, is that what you want? Right? So I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste my time. And I don't want to feel how I felt that day, which was self-betrayal. Two major parts that I really have porous boundaries, which means I'm like, oh, I don't feel like it, but I'll still do it. Friendship and family. Family is a little bit more complicated. Friendship is another aspect that I find myself in very hard setting boundaries and saying no. I had this one friendship where I forced myself in that situation to be there, to show up, because I'm like, well, my close friends are friends with this person, and so like I have to, you don't have to do shit. Honestly, you don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But I did. I could not be my true authentic self. Like, I couldn't be the person I am right now to you guys, like as I'm talking, I cannot be this person. I recognize that and I keep on recognizing that, but I keep brushing it away. I'm like, no, let's try again, because I'm stubborn as our values just don't align. That's your biggest cue, your body. When you feel like you're not able to fully open up, no matter how many times you try, take that as a sign. Like, I never vocalized until this one day, which happened to be on my birthday, and I remember it as clear as the crystal clear, water clear, like, oh my god, like Evian clear to me. And it was a conversation that came up about jokes. I decided that that was it. Like, I am gonna say it. Like, I have to. My ears was literally burning. My throat felt like I had a freaking lump in my throat. And I finally voiced out that actually I don't think that is funny. And I voiced it out because for the longest time I just kept it in, because I was like, no, it's gonna have to work out. It's gonna have to work out. And they were also very surprised that, you know, like, oh, like, I didn't know that, like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, like, it just doesn't make me feel comfortable. You know, eventually that person did send me a message and say, like, hey, like, I'm so sorry if I ever offended you in that way. Like, I obviously didn't mean to, la-di-da-di-da. And I was like, well, thank you so much, like, you know, for telling me this. Like, it shows me that you respect that aspect, and I can understand. It just didn't work out, and that's all right. Like I said, we all have different values and how we were brought up and different culture and things like that. So it is okay if it doesn't work out with another person. Like, it is okay. Like, do not force yourself. Do not be so hard on yourself. I was really hard on myself. I was like, no. And that just, again, that didn't turn out well. What's the worst thing that could happen, right? It goes one way or another. It goes really shitty or it goes really well, and you feel so much lighter. And actually, both cases, you feel so much lighter. I want to tell you another extreme case. Just because we have years of friendship and that one day I decide, hey, this is not okay anymore and you can't do this to me, I can cut a friendship if you step over my boundaries, and that's fair. We can work towards it as much as we can, but if it's like a pattern and if I see that you don't want to work on it, why do you have to force yourself to stay if a person doesn't want to work on it? You don't. And this guy friend, I've always felt a little bit like, like, I had no problem saying no to men. Like, I'm like, no, get away from me. Like, don't talk to me. Like, for a while, I've been noticing whenever I scroll on Instagram, I would just see him, and weird enough, he would be, his follow list would be like all these OF models and like, you know, girls and stuff like that. And I'd always be like, okay, this is really odd. You're, number one, you're married, you have a kid coming your way. Like, to me, that was like a red flag, right? Again, values. But hey, you have your thoughts on that. But in my opinion, if my man was following freaking girls and everything, I'm like, ain't no way. I kept seeing that on my Instagram, and that PMO so bad. I was like, ew. I decided that one day, oh my god, I'm such a cutie hottie girly, so I wanted to post this little cute bikini photo of myself. I hear so many discourse about like, oh, you posting a bikini photo is like you asking for like male attention. I'm like, I'm posting it for the girls and the gays, like, and my boyfriend, you know. But like, you know, I digress. This guy replies to my story and goes, well, hot damn. I was like, ain't no fucking way this man is replying to me like this. I was like, at this specific point in time, I have no problem setting boundaries. I'm setting boundaries left and right. I'm being like, actually, no, I don't like how you said that. Actually, no, you can't treat me like that. Actually, no, basic respect. Is there a better way I could have done it? Sure, but I already saw that there's no point, you know? There's no point in setting like a nice, hey, like, I really don't think this is not acceptable behavior. Like, I don't have to sit here and tell a grown man how to respect his girlfriend, his wife. I know of his wife, and she is a sweetheart. So if you think that it's okay, you think I'm gonna take your side? I sent him a gif. It was like a Paris Hilton ew. And I said, ew! I sent him a text. I go, you have a baby coming. Your husband, like, this is inappropriate behavior. Please don't do this again. If you do this again, I will block you, is what I said. And you know what he says? Oh, damn. He goes, I'm not flirting with you, and my wife knows of this. She knows that blah, 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 blah. Like, don't think that, like, it's me flirting with you. He got all defensive, and I was like, that tells me more than I need to know. Get out of here. I see you for who you are, and I don't like this vibe, and goodbye. Because that's not how you treat any woman. Like, you can go do that somewhere else, just not in my space. People show you exactly who they are when you set those boundaries. The boundaries you're setting is not over the top. There are times, sure, rigid boundaries stop you from achieving your potential and sabotage you. Sure, but what I'm talking about is basic common respect, which is, hey, I don't like it when you are projecting to me, treating me how you would treat another person, with kindness and care. If we're gonna build some kind of relationship or some kind of friendship, let's do it with care and respect. Making me feel guilty, and I don't think you're asking for the moon. The right people who really care about you and understand you will be like, oh, I understand. Like, I'm sorry that I said that. Let's move forward. How can we move forward? How can I do better as a person? Should I voice it out? What should I do? Compromising, meeting, and evolving. That is what we are for, right? That is how relationship, friendship evolve. That's the other aspect of it as well. How do you respond to those boundaries? That's another big topic for another day. When you set your boundaries, you're clear, you're straightforward. You just say it how it is, girl. No, this is how I feel, and I recognize there are sometimes, like, when people reach their limit so much and they just, you said, hey, this is the pin, this is the pin, this is the pin. If you take the pin out, I don't ensure your safety. You keep on saying it. What do? They take the pin out. What did you expect? I've told you multiple times how it's gonna go, and I've told you this already, but you did not listen to my warnings. You did not listen. What did you expect? And that is not your problem to solve. How a person feels after you set your boundaries is not your problem to be worried about, all right? And so how do you set these healthy boundaries? Number one, clear. I don't like that you spoke to me like this. I would prefer if you just spoke to me kindly. When you said this, it kind of really hurt my feelings. So I would prefer if you don't really talk to me like this. Two, neutral. Yesterday you said this thing and I really didn't like it. It hurt my feelings, and I would prefer you not to say these kind of things to me because it hurts my feelings. Clear, honest, neutral, and making your expectation kind of clear. And so this is your homework. Sit down, ask yourself, what drains me and makes me want to run away from? When you identify what that thing is, how you can set a boundaries, okay? So what drains you? How can you set that boundaries? For example, I have friends participate in drinking and drinking only, and I'm tired and sick of just having to be like, yes, sure, I'll go drink with you. Perhaps I can voice it out and be, hey, limited. Hey, when we meet, let's go meet at a cafe. Hey, when we meet, let's go have brunch. A friend gives this kind of compliment to you and you think that it's kind of sketchy. Like, hey, the thing you said here, I don't know if you meant it or if you didn't mean it or how it was. It really hurts my feeling, and I'd prefer if you don't talk to me like this, or I'd like to understand more. If they freak out and they say you're overreacting, you know what you need to know about that entire relationship, and you don't have to stay. Felicia, the door is there. Go. Why is your friend talking like that to you, all right? We evolve. Our boundaries evolve. We aren't static human beings, all right? We're meant to evolve. Look at us. We were probably bonobos. Now we're Homo sapiens. Like, we evolve, and our boundaries evolve with our experiences. And that is all right. That is normal, all right? Our boundaries are not walls. They are doors, all right? And you can open a door and say, hey, in this door, this is what you can expect. Clear, honest, this is what you can expect. Would you like to come in this door? If not, you can close the door. And that is boundaries. It is not a wall, all right? They're not walls. They're just doors. They're just door. And some people are going to walk into that door and see, wow, it's so beautiful. Some people are going to see it as, oh my God, that's too much for me. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't want those kind of people in your life anyway, so they can leave and set your boundaries, because the right people will see it for what it is and who you are. Yeah, and that is on boundaries and how I set my boundaries and how that the whole thing unfolded. And I think a very, very important exercise for you guys to do is sitting down, because you cannot know what your boundaries are if you don't know who you are and what you are, what you value, what kind of things is the core of who you are as a person. And that makes it very easy for you to neglect those things when you're not clear about it. You're not clear that I don't really agree with this aspect. Sure, there are times where, you can be fluid about it, but at the very least of you as a person and your core belief, you have to know this aspect, because that's gonna not put you into a position where you self-betray and you feel like and you're gutted. All right, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you like this episode, don't forget to give me a heart. Don't forget to don't forget to send me a little comment. What boundaries have you had to set this week or this month or this year? To who? I want to know. Yeah, I look forward to next week, and that's all for today. Set your boundaries, break a leg. Love you so much. Bye.